interesting confession by the person who made the first spacewalk. NASA UFO sighting by astronaut Ed White. Still an unsolved mystery. Confession exposed noticing cylindrical objects during his spacewalk. NASA astronaut Jim McDivitt once confessed to seeing a UFO in space, describing the mystery object was a white cylindrical shape. The NASA astronaut encountered the UFO on the second day of the Gemini 4 mission, June 1965. Gemini 4 was the second crew space flight in the Gemini program, the 10th in American spaceflight, and on the second day of the mission, which saw Ed White perform the first U.S. EVA or spacewalk, McDivitt recalled seeing an object outside the Gemini spacecraft. So what was this? He said back in 1975, at the time I saw it, I said there was something out in front of me or outside the spacecraft that I couldn't identify, and I never have been able to identify it, and I don't think anybody ever will. We were in drifting flight, and my partner Ed White was asleep. I couldn't see anything out in front of me except just the black sky, and it was rotating around. I noticed something out in front that was white, cylindrical shape, with a white pole sticking it out of one corner of it. It looked like a beer can with a smooth pencil sticking out, he said. The astronaut then grabbed his camera and took a few photos of the object, but he did not correctly focus on it or expose the photographs to properly capture the UFO, but he did later guess that the object was floating fairly close to his spacecraft since it was visible, of course, to him. And the astronaut said, I grabbed 2 cameras and took pictures of it. As the sun shone on the window, I could no longer see out, and the thing just disappeared, he said. He said they checked NORAD records to see what they had up on radar, and there wasn't anything within very close range of us. And after the astronauts returned to Earth and the mission's photographs were processed, the pictures failed to reveal what the astronaut had seen and tried to take a picture of. He said, I've seen the photos that were released. I went back and went through each frame of all the pictures that we took, and there was not anything in there like what I had seen, he said. At the time, some journalists speculated the astronaut may have seen a secret satellite. America's race to the moon was, after all, part of the Cold War with the Soviet Union. Could it have been a Soviet satellite? Who knows? However, experts speculate there is a much simpler explanation. The UFO was likely orbital debris from Gemini 4 launch. And according to James Oberg, former space engineer and rocket scientist, the Gemini 4 case cannot be conclusively closed, but the astronaut might have seen a part of NASA's Titan 11 rocket, they say. And he wrote on his blog, McDivitt, more than a decade after the fact, refused to believe he could have misidentified the object, but both his degraded eyesight and different viewing angle at the time of the sighting eliminate any reliability from that claim, and years of UFO research have taught us the surprising lesson that pilots are, in truth, among the poorest observers of UFOs because of their instinctive pattern of perceiving usual visual stimuli, primarily in terms of threats to their own vehicles. And he said, lastly, this coincidence must be considered that Gemini 4 was the only one of 10 manned flights in which a rendezvous was attempted and nearly accomplished with a beer can-shaped target, and that Gemini 4 was the only flight on which a crewman reported seeing an unidentified beer can-shaped object. Note added in 1995, Gemini 7 also performed that feat, and Gemini 7 also had a bogey UFO story associated with it. So what's going on there? Tracking data released by NORAD via NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center found the spent rocket stage has spent about 50 hours in space, and during this time the debris in the Gemini 4 crew were within NORAD's 1,000-mile range, so therefore it's likely the astronaut witnessed the Titan's booster stage. That's what they believe it could have been. Titan's booster stage. This is on Express UK by Sebastian Ketley. Please leave your comments. Tell me what you think about this. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.